Hello and welcome to day 115 of the Corona Yoga Challenge. This is the home practice phase. So this is about trying to find what it is that's going to be really helpful to help you get into your yoga so that you need less and less tuition, less and less. Not that we don't need tuition, but it's a different sort of thing, that there's more of that internal process of going inwards. Anyway, what we are doing today is we are doing triangle pose Trikonasana, and we are on page 8 of the Corona Yoga Challenge book, the Yoga Home Practice Challenge book. Oh my goodness, I've called it so many different things, it's ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the different adaptations and variations so that you can try them out yourself. So it's so important that you're trying different things, because sometimes we imagine one thing is going to be good, but actually a different thing feels even better. So to start with, we're just going to do a normal Trikonasana. So we're going to take a step forwards, both feet are going to be coming straight forwards. So often it's done with the legs strong and straight, and a classical triangle pose ends up looking like this. The issues with triangle pose, it's quite such an interesting pose, because the issues are through the lower back, because what we have got with triangle pose, we've got a leverage forward, so the shoulders become heavy, and then we've got a twist round, so a twist round of the shoulders. So we've got weight in the shoulders and that feeling of coming forward. So we've got some danger issues for the lower back. And one of the things that I've heard is that there are a lot of older yoga teachers with sacroiliac issues, so this area here in the back of the spine. So whilst I think triangle pose is fabulous and wonderful, it's also one that I've got a lot of kind of care with, because I think that obviously any issue where we are using the body in a way that damages it in the long term is not going to be good, so we don't want to be doing that. So the first thing that you can do from the straight leg position is just soften your knees a little bit. So we soften both legs, and then we come forwards, and then you can come out and round. Now, when we keep both legs soften, it means that we've got more movement. You see that my back knee moves out and round as I come up, whereas if I'm here and I come forwards, it's all in my back. So that I've got a kind of safety mechanism of the knees being a little bit soft. Now that's one of the adaptations that I've suggested. Another thing that you can do is you can do really, really bent knees. So you can have the legs really, really soft. So that as we come forward, so leaning in towards the chest, you can come out and round from here. So it's kind of like somewhere between the squat and the triangle pose in traditional terms. And then from here you can lengthen up and out and into the pose, so that we're working in a way that's safe and steady for the body. So we would come in, bend through the knees, come forward, and then press into the feet and come up. So another option is kind of what we're doing at the moment, which is coming through Parsvottanasana. So that's the one that we did last week. So hands are in towards the heart, or often, or under the thighs. You're leaning yourself up and forwards. From here, you can let your hands come onto your front legs. So we've got safety coming forward, safety as we let our hands rest onto the leg. And then we can open up and out, so that we're never just angling forwards and taking a lot of weight forwards whilst we're twisting. So that's a nice simple way of coming into triangle pose. And then again down through the feet to bring yourself up. So one thing that I quite like doing from there, so from Parsvottanasana, so hands are in towards the heart, shoulders come up and forwards. So from here, depending on your body, you might still have issues within the back of the pelvis. So none of these poses are 100% safe, i.e. you can say, I'm going to do this however I want, one of these versions that's going to be fine. You have to listen. You have to listen to your lower back, you have to listen to how you really feel, rather than just kind of blast through it. So then from here, you bring yourself out and round, so we come hands in towards the heart. So at the moment, we've still not got a great deal of weight levered on the lower back because of the way we've come into it, but it could be too much for your body. And then from here, we can open out with the hands, extend them out, and then back in. Coming round to face the short edge of the mat, and stepping yourself up and back to standing. So these are a couple of variations. Another way that I quite like, it's a little bit more fluid, is coming from the feet steady on the floor. You let your front hand come up, so you come up towards that feeling of warrior one, feeling i.e. because we've only got one hand up and we're not in warrior one at all. It's that feeling of that lifting up and out. And then from here you imagine that you're just pouring yourself over like a great big wave, so that as one hand comes down, the other hand comes up. So ideally don't hit the sofa as you do that. And then up and overhead again. So this is a nice way of practicing when you're wanting to get that feeling of free flow, but you've got to make sure that the legs and the support through the body is strong enough for this. So you're pouring yourself out and forwards, and then to come back up, scoot up with the front hand, come all the way up and overhead, stretch out, and then come back to standing. So these are two different things that you can do. The other thing that we can do is we can do a really, really narrow triangle pose. So a traditional one is a kind of sizable step, maybe a bit bigger. You can have the feet really, really narrow. This is much more protected for the pelvis. You can let your front hand come up. And just as we did before, you can pour yourself forwards. So we come high, high, high. And we keep that feeling of that lifting up through the tummy and then sinking gently down through the shoulder. And then down through the feet, bring yourself back up and to stand. So another really fun one is, what do we do with the back foot in triangle pose? So it's often taught, Iyengar, it's always taught with the back heel and in line with the other heel, toes pointing out. So one of the benefits of this is that we've got a movement round of the pelvis already. So we've got the movement through the back foot. That's what can lead us up and forward. So this is a nice way to work. In some ways it's kinder on the lower back, in other ways less. Very, very mystical, eh? Press down through the feet, bring yourself back up. So this has got the movement round of the pelvis. However, it's advised in pregnancy that we've got both feet facing forward, so the back of the pelvis stays even, so that as you come forwards, you let your hand come out to the side and you may come up a little bit, so that we're not looking for that great big move out and round which takes the pelvis into it. So in pregnancy, we're thinking about just a smaller movement, and it might be that this is better for your body, pregnant, not pregnant, whatever it is, so that we just have that little opening out. And then we bring ourselves back down and up to standing. Now obviously the other options are to use a support. Whenever we're using a support in front of us, so you can take your hands onto the support, you're nice and even through the shoulders, even through the pelvis, free hand comes out and round, and you'll see just what tends to happen is I tend to lift my toes as I do this, because it just gives me that feeling of aliveness which I like. And then from here I can bend my elbow to come a little bit further into it if I want to, or I can stay high up. This way, there's again much more protection for the lower back when we're coming forwards onto a bit of support. And you can vary that support so that you can come onto a lower support or a higher support, and it changes how it is, how much you get to move. You can even come down onto a little bit of skirting board, so if you're wanting to come lower again, so that you can bring your hands so that we're just a little bit further away from we're a little bit higher up from the floor than on the floor. This way, what we have is we've still got a feeling of support, because for me, the adaptations in triangle pose are just about always to do with lower back, but often shoulders. So from here, it might be your shoulders preferred, that the shoulders soften, the elbows soften, the elbows come back and down. So another one that we're going to do, rattling through these, but it's important. And it's important so that you've got lots of different ways that you can approach the same thing, so that you're really thinking about what your body would like most. So what else have we got? I think we've done all of these ones. We have, so we can now come on to these. Excellent. So another thing that I quite like doing and that is coming from the ground and up. So starting with the feet in Parsvottanasana, so one step forward, both feet both face forward, bending your hands so that you're bending your legs so that your hands come onto the floor, and then take the hand on the same side of the front foot, walk it away from your front foot just a touch, and then you can come out to shoulder high. You can start to lengthen the legs, you can come up and out. This is again a nice way of doing it because the back remains supported at all times. And then from here we can start to get a little bit lighter with the hand on the floor if you would like, or hand can be onto your ankle. Bend your knees, bring your hand back down and onto the floor. Press into the feet to bring yourself up. For me, the biggest issue is that full traditional triangle pose where the hand comes onto the front foot, so they come. In fact, it was traditionally taught like this, which is slide your hands forward. So immediately we've got a lower back issue. So we're leaning up and out of it, and then we're taking that weight nice and smoothly and down and onto the leg, so the hand rests onto the ankle. But this is, for many people, not all people, a kind of just not the best plan. So that's the one I would least advise for most people. However, it could be that that's just fantastic for you. You've really got to be able to think of all these different bodies and people. So my next little one I want to share with you is a different way of moving around with the hands. So from wherever you are, whether you're up here on the sofa, or on a little table, down on the skirting board, down on the floor, I'll use the table just for fun. So from this triangle pose, you can take that top hand, wrap it round the back so that your hand just peeks out and it takes hold of your thigh. And from here, what we're working with is feeling of extending back and round with the top shoulder. And as that happens, you'll probably notice you have to get a lot stronger through the feet. Bring yourself back and round to the centre. Undo with your hand, settle it onto the table. So we're using these kind of safe, steady ways of working. And then walking yourself in towards the support, bringing yourself up. So it's a fantastic pose for strengthening the legs, for getting that twist and that feeling of life. We just have to be a little bit mindful and a little bit kind as we are practicing. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope you have enjoyed your Trikonasana and can think of all the different ways to play with it. I'll tell you what I've not done actually. We've not actually looked at why is it called triangle pose. This is one of my really fun ones and it's for kids. So basically, if I come into triangle pose here, we've got a fairly serious equilateral going on, an isosceles here. We've got one, if you got right to the top to my fingertips, down to each foot. So you can just keep noticing triangle, triangle, triangle. So Trikonasana. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed that and that helps you to adapt triangle pose in a really kind way for you. And what we're doing this week is we're working with triangle pose all week. So I would advise stay high up, stay using support, really listen to your lower back, listen to that life in the legs, so from the feet, and see if you can gently open out and round through the shoulders. So it's not a kind of push, arms out, kind of try and lose the kind of end pose idea and go for the journey to get there. So I hope that's helpful, I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, looking forward to, I think the next one is on Saturday, will be our next guided one, our next taught one, and in the meantime I've got some nice waves for you, some strange practices that I like doing. Hope you have a lovely week and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.